no one else did this move, but Ben Hogan did it. This is a huge change in the game of golf, a huge change. And I can't say that it's a bad one because the guys are hitting it 9 miles with their irons. What you need to do is now get that left shoulder, which is way behind the ball. If I leave it in this position like this, I'm in big trouble. If I were going to give a drill that was the most important drill, it would be, that is a drill that's not taught hardly at all in the world of golf. And to me, it might be the most important thing that you should work on.
One thing I try to do on my irons that everybody should do is try to make sure that my left shoulder gets back to where it starts, or if anything, a little ahead of where it starts. Because that ensures that you eliminate the left side of the golf course, and it ensures that you get the ball first and the divot second. Like when I won my last AT&T, I was on an 18th hole Pebble, and of course all the trouble is left on all 3 shots. And I just made sure when I got over the ball and when I came down, I actually moved into this knife blade, imaginary knife blade, even ahead of where I started, and then hit it, and it eliminates the left side. No way it could go in the ocean. Now let me show you how to work this left shoulder so it gets you the ball, then the divot, and makes you hit the ball flush and trap it on the face, okay? What I try to do when I'm over the ball is imagine, I try to really think where that shoulder is right there. So once, in my mind, once I turn away from it, I just want to return right back to where I started. I can't tell you how common of a mistake this move is in the game of golf. The momentum of the backswing pulls you off the ball, which is okay as long as you get back, but what you need to do is now get that left shoulder, which is way behind the ball. If I leave it in this position like this, I'm in big trouble. I got to get that left shoulder back to where I started, and that allows me to get the ball in the divot. If you leave the shoulder back, sort of sway and stay I call it, you're in big trouble in golf. It works a little bit with a driver because you want to hit it on the upswing, but for irons, you have got to feel where that shoulder is here, move it back here, and then your first movement down is get it back to on where it started and then hit the ball. If you do that, you get good solid contact and trap the ball right on the face. You know, when I think of Ben Hogan, I think of a lot of things. A guy that worked harder than anybody, concentrated harder, more driven and dedicated maybe to anybody, and more respected for the quality of his shots than any golfer ever in history, and that includes Woods or Nicklaus. Nobody's been copied more than Ben Hogan, and his book has been copied more than any book ever. The one thing he did when I think of Hogan is I think of that picture of him on the 18th hole of Marion in the US Open and his follow-through position, which no one else did this move, but Ben Hogan did it. And I'm not sure if the players today are copying Hogan, but a lot of them had gone to this position of the club face. The Hogan move, what he used on the 18 at Marion, is when he went through and came down, the face was this way. So it's a totally different position to this one, and that it's sort of almost a curl under move. So you see it on tour quite a bit today where the guys will curl the club this way to hit that nice fade. And it really wasn't, nobody did it in my era. And now there's quite a few players, the thing that they're doing, the standard move on tour is when they finish, their left palm is facing the target. In my era, the palm was this way. Now most of the guys on tour have the palm facing the target on the follow through. So when they go through, they're actually doing the Hogan move, the face this way and the hand pointing right at the target. And I have never seen that written about. If you'll watch, their palm is pointing exactly at the target. Our old position was here, the new position is here. So this is a huge change in the game of golf, a huge change. And I can't say that it's a bad one because the guys are hitting it 9 miles with their irons because they're making a 5-iron into a 3-iron at impact, making their wedges into an 8-iron. So they're hitting wedges now 160 yards or something. We used to hit a wedge 120. So you might want to try it. The technique is totally different. And here's the difference. Is now instead of the hands being this way on the club, the hands are way over here, so the wrists really line up at a sort of a strange angle. But this is a power grip, and what it does for you, it allows you to pull a lot more with your left tricep and get more arm speed without losing the ball to the right, because it's a hook grip. So you get the guys get the hands this way, and the way they make it work on tour, and I'd say 8 or 9 out of 10 players do this. Watch this right here. They get here,
And at the top, they have this angle here, that at the top they go pretty much to flat. And I want you to come and watch where the position they're in now. If I don't change anything, look where the club head is now. This is where they are at the top of their backswing. Do you see this right here? So to offset that, the guys add shaft angle. So they add shaft angle to square up the face. You definitely will get rid of your slice as you move your hands this way. You have a tendency to hook the ball more, and that should help a lot of you get more distance with your iron. Lee Trevino and myself go back a long ways. So my first pro tournament was the U.S. Open in 1966 as an amateur, and I played with Lee Trevino's first tournament as a pro, and so we got to know each other then, and he had a unique move. He had a move that a lot of great ball strikers have. He did it a little bit differently in that he played a cut, low cut, but what he did that set him apart was when he went through the ball, most players will stay about right here with their head. What Trevino would do is he'd get here and he would chase down the line like this. And so he would go down the line like that, longer than anybody else. And that a lot of the great ball strikers, that's the one characteristic is instead of just swinging in a circle, when they get in this area here, they go down after it like that. And you can learn a lot from that. I did that in my game probably from watching Trevino. Byron Nelson did that move. A lot of the LPGA players do that move. So what I try to do is get in here when I go through it, extend that right arm way down the line here, way down the line, like it's coming out of its socket here, instead of just folding up. So Trevino would get in here and he'd hit it like this, he'd go. When he chased down the line, watch the position he gets in, he gets here. You see how the club is leaning this way? See that nice little fade it makes? So if you want to hit that nice controlled fade, chase it down the line and hold the club that way. If you're going to hook it, it's over that way, just a lot like ping pong. But that's a great move on dogleg rights, back right pins. And impact is where it's at. You know, I do a drill where and I'm the only one I know that used to practice this, is that I would just practice in front of a mirror and I'd just stop square, or I would just stop a little bit open, or stop a little shut. And that's probably, if I were going to give a drill that was the most important drill, it would be able to totally control the club face exactly where you want it at the bottom. And that would be unique to Johnny Miller there. Is that I just felt like once I got to the top, there was no getting stuck. That was just, that's from poor teaching. Even with Tiger Woods and a lot of these tour pros that say, well, I got stuck coming down. But if you know where impact is and exactly where the face is, no matter where you are, you can get it unstuck at the bottom. You can dial that face anywhere you want. If you just said, right here, you said, okay, slightly open, okay, there it is. You know, or a little close, okay, or square, you know. If you can get good at that, it's pretty hard to hit it too bad. That is a drill that's not taught hardly at all in the world of golf. And to me, it might be the most important thing that you should work on.